right, I think we may be live. Let's give it a shot here on the Old Tube Radio Network.
You may not find us on your TV because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
Well, somebody's applauding for us, the Old Tube Radio Network, thanks to Mr. Freeberg, X4000, the Jingle Singers, and a host of others. The Old Tube Radio Network is on the air yet again for the 18th of April, 2020. The purpose of the Old Tube Radio Network, I think, at least for this last 35 years, has been to promote the use and distribute information about Class D 11-meter citizen band radios, and also to give our radio collectors here in Central California a chance to get on the air, a chance to take the radios out of the garage and drive them around the block. And, of course, we'll be checking in with our SWLs here at the roll call. 27085 is the frequency of choice if you want to give it a shot in the RF zone. Things have been quiet, although I did hear Hawaii in earlier. Don't know if we'll have any 10-meter E-skip. Channel 11, 27085, also the audio stream at oldtuberadio.net, and perhaps even a YouTube video or two tonight. We're going to have, I'm going to give the Echo Link a shot just because it was, out of all the difficult things to do, it was the easiest one to set up. It looks like we might have someone on the line already. I think I've only got it set up for one at a time, so we'll try that after the roll call. And, of course, most importantly, your Old Tube radios. So before I go too far, let me make sure that people are hearing my signal here on Channel 11. Over.
Loud and clear.
Oh, yeah, much better.
Sounding good in course code.
All right, the audio may not be as good as it should, but I was able to get the part I needed to get my 5-watt DC input up to the 5-watt DC input. And we'll see what happens. All right, if I get my list of lists here, and I put on the right video mode of operation. There we go. We can start the roll call with SWL00, who I think is still, he is possibly still on the air with Old Radio Night. Let me see if I've got it. I might have it. It would be number 2. It'd be that one. All right. See, he's still got Old Radio Night going. So, JT, are you there? You could check in from your shack tonight, if he's listening. All right. Well, it's so much for the global check-ins. There's his. I know he's sitting at the radio desk. And thanks, Ray. It helps to have that 5-watt DC input. All right. I'll tell you what. When JT notices, or takes a look, somebody let him know. We can check him in audio-wise tonight, since he's still on the air. All right, 00 will be checked in. SWL number 1, of course, the Cosmic check-in, as always, shaking his head and saying, I don't know how we're doing this anymore. SWL number 2, Mr. OBP, is out and about on the video section tonight, or at least he was, checking in the audio reports. Let's turn that down. How about SWL number 3? SWL 4? SWL 5? SWL 6? SWL 7? And I'll check my various screens when I can find them here. Oops, I closed the wrong one, darn it. Because I thought I heard Ed in there just a little bit moments ago. There's OBP. Okay, we got you, Kevin. SWL 13. SWL 14. And Mike sometimes checks in on oldtuberadio.net or over on the Facebook page, which is a good thing, SWL 15. SWL 16. SWL 17.
Break OTR?
Hey, there he is. Let me get my... I've got too many computer screens here. There, I'll find you. The break OTR, go ahead.
Yeah, SWL 7 checking in between the noise bursts.
Ooh, noise bursts, and I'm assuming I'm one of the noise bursts, but maybe not the one that's winning at the moment.
No, in fact, whatever it was shut off a second ago, and I'm afraid it's going to come right back, so I figured I'd better jump in while I could.
Yeah, my broadband noise that was on 40 meters was not on today. It kind of floats between 7.2 and 7.4. It was totally gone today, so I don't know what's up with that, but I'm kind of glad of that, so maybe yours will do the same thing. We've got you checked in, and you are sounding good over.
And thank you, sir. Have a great OTR. Over.
So 7's in, 2's in. We left off at SWL 18. SWL 19. From the west side, checked in earlier. He may not be in the Radio Shack, but I'll get him checked in. SWL 20.
SWL 20 is not supposed to be here, so I guess I'm not supposed to check in, but I guess I will. Number 20, please check in 29 and 54, and I will be back later. So even though I'm not supposed to be here.
All right, I won't tell. I won't tell that you weren't supposed to be here, even though you might be. We got you checked in.
Oh, you bet. Okay. Yeah, I thought I was going to be working, but they called yesterday and said, no, stay home. So I go, okay, the old guy will stay home. So we'll be back out after a while. Thank you, Dennis.
All right, good deal. Thanks for checking in. Now somebody who's also logged into Old Radio Night, go tell JT, type on his thing telling that he's on the air. We want to get him checked in. Patching in, the sound you hear is Old Radio Night. They're on Channel 12 tonight. He's on the Galaxy Saturn. And I can tell he's there because... I can tell he's there because he's reflecting in the background of the radio. Maybe he's away, but we'll try and get him. He's 00 and SWL 21. I was trying to see if I could get the ultimate crossband to check in here from network show on the West Coast to the network show on the East Coast. All right. They're loud. See, his radio, he's got one of those good radios where everybody comes in really loud. All right, well, if he pops in, we'll have him say hello to us live and direct. Let's see, the next thing we're going to do, if we ever do it, will be a check-in for SWL 22. And, I should check my other screen here, because that is Mark out of East Texas. Who is in tonight? We got a lot of people watching. Hello to down in Southern California, Hermosa Beach, New Jersey, San Jose, California, the station New York. Been listening into all my testing here this afternoon. Centerville, Virginia, Woodland Park, Colorado, waiting for the E-skip, no doubt. Hello to our triple play in Squamish, British Columbia, Fayetteville, North Carolina, coming up to you. Hello, Kerman, just west of us here, Dallas, Georgia. If I can rattle his cage, it's getting attention. Hello to Auberry, Canby, Oregon, coming up to you. The UK, the unknown SWL, wearing the paper bag over their head. Somerville, South Carolina, Coarse Gold, Anoka, Minnesota. Been listening in. And the Ditch Bank SSB net waving a hand. We're coming up to you. We'll talk about that. And there is Hendersonville, Tennessee, right way up in the top row tonight. Also watching in on the video. And so the next thing I've got, and I think I can do this here, will be SWL. I didn't hear for 22. We'll try SWL 23, who's sharing the same audio link with Old Radio Night. So if I was to open this up. So the next thing I've got, and I think I can do this here, will be SWL. I didn't hear for... I'm hearing myself because I've got my stream turned on, or somehow I'm getting live audio. Let's go over to this one, and let's turn off that. All right, and then let's turn up this, and let's see. Okay, SWL. Let's try this. Try it on the Echo link. SWL 23. And I think I should have the audio up for that, or do I have to do it like this? And I think I can do this here will be SWL 23. Oh, you know what happens when I do a space bar? It turns everything on. I'm hearing my... Yeah, all right. Well, so much for the technical...
SWL 23 checking in.
Hey, there he is. All right, you're sharing the screen and the audio with other things. I was trying to... Oh, I know what I can do if I take that away. See, for this to work, my space bar has to be over here, right? So let's click on that. And then when I do that, now I'm talking direct to SWL 23, hopefully on the Echo link. Give it another try over.
Good evening, Dennis and the net. It's nice to actually be able to check in live from Aptos, California, about 10 miles below the city of Santa Cruz. Kilo Alpha 3 Tango Echo Bravo via Echo Link for ID. Back to you.
All right, working good. See, I'm running a separate computer, a separate audio link, and I have to be careful when I hit the space bar. So I got to make sure I'm transmitting to you over the Echo link, that your audio is feeding through the network here, but not feeding back to you, and that I'm transmitting both ways. So an Echo link set up. We'll leave it open. I know some other people will want to check in that way, but thanks for letting me test, and you sound great. We'll go back to you for one more transmission so I can check all the audio here, and then we will continue on. That's Mitch 23 via the Echo Link KB6 GFD. Give it a shot.
KB6 GFD, KA3TED. One more try on the Echo Link. Just a tip there, Dennis, for others who want to get on this link after I release it. Make sure that you mute your YouTube video stream so that you don't end up with feedback between the YouTube audio and the Echo Link. So that's just a clue to shut that down, and the audio should flow nice and clean. Anyhow, I'll get off the frequency and let you continue with the check-in. As always, thanks so much for doing the net. It's awesome every week, and hope to check in this way again in the future. 7-3s, KA3TEB.
All right, just wanted to drop the transmitter there for a second. So that is good. You don't get the audio loop. That's something I have to work here so I don't feed back the wrong audio to either Echo Link or the main feed. That seems like it worked okay. And Mitch, you're sounding good in my headphones in the Radio Shack tonight on Echo Link. And I have that node somewhere. I'll give that node out here. We'll do more after the roll call for those who are Echo linked. Next, we go to SWL 24.
24, checking in.
SWL 24. Hello, Joseph. Thanks for being patient while we worked out some technical difficulties, but you are sounding good, and we've got you checked in. Over. SWL 25.
Hello, Dennis 25 checking in. Good to hear you on the sideband net. Unfortunately, I was not able to transmit, but anyway, thanks for the net. Back to you, Dennis.
All right, I didn't have my little flip cell phonium close by, or I would have seen your message in time to get the word out that you were indeed SWLing, but I missed that. So hopefully you'll be able to get something hooked up. All the audio sounded good. Jeremy did a great job of getting the audio, video, and technical stuff lined up, and I hope we will be doing many, many more of those, and we'll talk about that when we get him checked in. Thanks for listening.
No problem, Dennis, and I think Miss Jilly 74 from my 50,000 watt radio wants to to check in and say hello, Mr. D.
All right, I will say hello from behind my mask and gloves. The 50,000 watts is beaconing great into Midtown this evening, and it's great to hear your voice on the old Tube Radio Network. Thanks for checking in 74. Over.
Love you, Mr. D. Sorry I've been in with my mask and gloves too in the house.
All right, Dennis. Anyway, thanks for the early check-in for 74. Back to you. Thanks, Dennis.
All right, thanks for checking in. Double on that. SWL 27, Dwayne, who is and working on items so his antennas are down. I don't know if you're listening on the HT, Mitch. Mitch, I keep calling you Mitch. Dwayne, I've got Echo Link on the brain here. Dwayne, we've got you checked in, so thanks. Hey, it even sounds good. I hope you can hear me. KB6GFD. All right, and Dwayne was there. He must be on the HT or something. Now that I put my antenna back up, it's on a portable temporary stand, and it blew over. When I noticed my match was out the roof, Larry said, "We can't hear you." So I had to climb up the ladder and fix things, and now I can hear. I can even hear the HTs. Next, we have SWL 29, a check-in for Mr. Loner over at SWL 30. SWL 31. In the house tonight, Robert and Teresa up there in Hendersonville, Tennessee, waving a hand at the video side and also at oldtuberadio.net. That is somewhere on my screens here tonight. Yeah, they are out there. So we've got you guys checked in. SWL 32. SWL 33, myself, Bozo Control, the Jingle Singers. There is all sorts of goodies and food out there tonight. So I hope that those of you who check in get a chance to, after you jump out of the air chair, run over and help us eat up all the goodies. Let's try SWL 34. SWL 35 would be none other than Red Monkey Communications, Mr. Bill, who is getting the big trailer on the road again, no doubt, and checking in from Cheyenne, Wyoming. Bill, if you're listening, and I know you are at some point, we do have you checked in. SWL 36. SWL 37.
37, good evening, Dennis.
Good evening, Chris. You are sounding good here tonight.
Thank you. You're sounding the same.
All right. If you make it back to the radio room, we will be in 20 minutes or so looking for those elusive glow-in-the-dark radios that were produced from, at least for Class D, from late 50s, 1958, 59, all the way through about 1978 when they just decided to stop doing it. So thanks for checking in. SWL 38. SWL 39. SWL 40. Thought he might be on AM, FM, or otherwise tonight. What was that, over? You know, I hear the audio, but I'm not making it, or I'm not able to make it out. But I'm not sure if that was a check-in for a proxy for Larry or not.
Really, he said he was checking in on the chat.
Oh, there he is. That was the cue to Mr. Announcer to actually look at one of the various screens in front of him, and there is a Larry 785. Thank you for that. And Larry, we've got you checked in. Let me refresh some of my chats to make sure I don't miss everyone who might be checking in. could be checking in. Let's try SWL 41. And I also think if I looked at the item of interest that could find Road Dog there, but not yet. You know, Warren, I think it's just everybody was going solid state, and it was, I don't know, maybe cheaper and lighter and the thing to do. It's like, why did they stop making 78 records? So, it seems like all the tube radios we check in probably stopped in 78. There were hybrids, you know, with the transmitter finals, but the solid state receives. But the honest to goodness tube radios didn't make it through that the 1970s. Let's try SWL 42. SWL 43. Shortwave listener 44. 44. All right, 44 checking in. And I hear you, and hopefully I'm in your noise enough to actually be heard. All right. As I look behind me, looks like I see no smoke, and the watt meter's doing what it's supposed to do. Thanks for checking in. SWL 45. All right. We've got you, Paul. Checked in. Hey, wait a minute. All right. Hold on a second. I wonder what the delay is. Let me bring up the audio for Old Radio Night, and we might be able to do something here.
Phonium close by, or I would have seen your message in time to get the word out that you were indeed SWLing. But I missed that. So hopefully you'll be able to
okay.
Get something hooked up. All the audio sounded good.
Mr. JT, this is way behind.
Job of getting the audio, video, and technical stuff lined up, and I hope we will be doing many, many more of those, and we'll talk.
That's my audio coming through JT's Old Radio Night. I'm still trying to get his attention to see if he can actually check in.
All right, I will say hello from behind my mask and gloves. Ooh. The 50,000 watts is beaconing.
Okay, we're back at 24 again. So if he replays this, he'll hear me talking to him in the future, or is it the past?
We're checking in 74. Over.
So I'll keep an eye out in the video. We're going to cut the audio and continue with the roll call. Okay, that is definitely freaking me out. Let's try, we got 45, 46. How about SWL 47?
Hey, good evening from the Radio Lounge, SWL 47.
And hello, Mike. SWL 47 is checked in and sounding good.
Thank you. And I'm going to say number to you, 94810. Does that ring a bell? 94810?
Yeah, that rings a bell. So keep that number handy. And when I get a chance and get all the patches running, I think I've got it set up for one at a time. We'll jump in and have people try it out. Mitch already tried it, and it seems to be working good. My audio ins and audio outs are good. It's just I'm sharing with some other stuff here. So yeah, keep that in mind. That'll get you in.
Sounds good.
SWL 48.
SWL 48 checking in, Dan.
Wow, sounding good tonight. Sam, loud and clear into Midtown Fresno tonight. We got you checked in.
Thanks, sir.
I was trying to watch the video, so when it gets around to the point where I'm talking to JT, he might think he was talking to me. Let's try the guy that knows how to do all this technical stuff. SWL 49.
Oh, well, thank you. Hey there, Dennis. Big hello to the Net 49er is checking in. Very nice to see your signal back up. Was getting you about an S6, S7 last couple of weeks here in Southwest Fresno, but you're swinging over an S9 tonight and sounding loud and proud, like they say. Also, that echo link that you have set up is very cool and actually sounds really cool coming over, really nice coming over the AM. So that is awesome. Thank you for the check-in. Again, hope everyone is doing well, and Let's have a great tube radio night.
Hey, I'm all for that. I'm all for that. Boy, nice audio, and it looks good on the meter as well. So it's nice to be back at 5-watt DC input. Now the next step is getting the antenna where it should be. Thanks for checking in. Next we've got SWL50. Who was the break for OTR? All right, who is checking in live? Over. Okay, yeah, let me bring it up. Let me bring up the audio.
Sounding good here tonight.
Thank you. You're sounding the same.
Let's see, that's 38. Old Radio Night checking in live.
If you make it back to the radio
That's weird to see myself
in 20 minutes or so.
in the future.
For those elusive glow-in-the-dark radios.
In the past, that's Old Radio Night.
Class D from
Mr. JT.
1958, 59.
I'll keep that in the background. Is SWL50 around? Let's try Sanger, SWL51.
SWL51 checking in. Sound a lot better, Dennis. For the past month or so, boy, I could barely hear you, but now you came way up. So whatever you did, you made a big difference.
Yeah, and it's nothing that a 450-volt capacitor couldn't fix in the right spot. You sound good too, and I think I heard you on the sideband net sounding good too.
Thank you, Dennis. Yeah, it was. I don't usually talk on sideband, but it was a little bit different. Anyways, have a good evening out there.
All right, thanks for checking in, Dave. Let's try SWL52. Okay, there it is.
Larry 785, thank you for that. And Larry, we've got you checked in.
I'm trying to see if JT is actually in the control room or if he just popped me up on the screen. There he is.
Everyone who might be checking in could be checking in. Let's try SWL40.
Is this how Marconi did it? Trying to get somebody's attention?
And I also think...
Well, let's try SWL5353.
Hello, Dennis. 53 checking in.
All right, Bob, thanks for hanging in there and putting up with all the confusion here in the Radio Shack tonight. You are sounding good, and we've got you checked in here on the Old Tube Radio Network.
Thank you.
We, of course, have a check-in for SWL54. Let's try SWL55.
55 checking in, Dennis.
All right, it's nice to be heard up in Shaver Lake for once. You are sounding good.
Thank you, Dennis.
SWL56.
Good evening, Dennis and the net. SWL56, just for kicks.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of kicks tonight. You are sounding good as always. And thanks for listening in to, I think we call it the Saturday Night Place to Be. SWL57. And Brown Dog is in there. It was one of the first ones on the video stream tonight. Worldwide Sideband 1942 in Central Kentucky. And we have a speaking of sidebanders, we have a sideband net that has sprouted this spring here in Central California, and I'm not sure if we can find out about it now. Hello, 58.
58 checking in, and just want to let you know you're loud and proud in Biola tonight, Dennis. Over.
All right. That's a good thing. 5 watts DC input. Give us the info for those of us locally that have sideband, whether it's infused into our old tube radio or perhaps on another shelf on a really cool radio. And for those that may be listening in that are not in the local zone but could possibly work the DX E-skip when it happens, give us the particulars on the brand new and awesome Friday night sideband net over.
Well, will do. I'm not sure how much ad space costs. Maybe we'll try to use about 15 seconds or so here, and you're just going to have to send me the bill. But yeah, we had about 19 check-ins last night on the first ever Ditch Bank sideband net. And it is a net here, like I said, I'm out in Viola, but it's close enough to Fresno. We can get most everybody checked in there. It's on channel 36, lower sideband, starting at 8 p.m. local time. And it's on Fridays. And we had a good time with it last night, and appreciate everybody that joined in. And we hope that more join and give them a chance to either flip the switch on the radio they have and try another mode, or pull another radio off the shelf maybe they haven't used it in a while. And that's the story of it. And I appreciate you supporting the net, Dennis, and thank you for doing your net. Always the number one here in the Valley. Appreciate it, Dennis.
All right. And also, in addition, if you have the ability to do YouTube, there is a nice SDR display, and it actually taught me a few things Friday about my signal and my audio and what to do. So that's another cool part on that. If you want to, while you're talking sideband, look in the mirror, as it were, and sort of straighten your hair and fix your tie. You'll be able to do that with the SDR stream. All right. Thank you, Jeremy.
I appreciate it, sir.
Okay. Now, I think I just went by my part where I was talking to JT. Back when I was talking to JT on the old Radio 9.
That knows how to do all this technical stuff. SWL49.
I'm still seeing if he'll turn around the camera and say hi to us. Direct and oral call. We've got tube radios coming up. Looking for SWL59. Shortwave listener 60.
Thank you much, Dennis. Evening time to the fellows out there. Doug on it. Hey, we're going to check in this old, I guess it's Cobra 29. It's modified. Classic. Doug on it on a D1. No, I'm sorry. It's a 4+2 diesel microphone. And I hope I'm making the trip to you. So SWL60 checking in.
You are making the trip just fine. You've got it connected and tuned the way it should be. SWL60's got an X in the square. As always, Joe, thanks for tuning into the Old Tube Radio Network.
Thank you, sir.
SWL61.
61, checking in, man.
All right, hopefully you can hear me a little bit better this week, and I'm hearing you just fine as always. 61 is checked in.
Thank you, sir.
Beautiful downtown Clovis, SWL62.
Evening time, Dennis. This is 62 checking in downtown Clovis. How are we tonight?
I am good. Survived the week. Didn't do anything that I wasn't supposed to. At least I don't think so. And here I am on Saturday evening once again on the Old Tube Radio Network, checking in Lucky Lindy. Thanks.
Thanks, Dennis. See you next week.
I've got so many cables. Let me put these on correctly. Let's try SWL63. That is Bubba and all the gang out in New York, listening to what seems to be the Old Tube Radio Network tonight. How about SWL64? SWL65?
SWL65 checking in.
I know. I'm going to do it again.
SWL65. Hello, Eric. We've got you checked in over.
Thank you, Dennis. Sounding good tonight. Have a good evening.
Standing by.
All right. And thanks for that. I'm trying to find the foot switch here. All right, 21. I think I hear you. I think JT is going to try checking in. We need 00 and 21.
I'm trying to see if the JT is actually...
Okay, there it is. He's online. JT, I'm looking at you. We need your check-in for 00 and 21, and I am listening over.
I'm here.
All right, you'll be able to hear it when the play comes around.
Let's try SWL5353.
Hello, Dennis. 53 checking in.
All right, we're sort of
All right, Bob, thanks for hanging in there and putting
closing the
up with all
gap. We're closing the time
the
loop
Radio Shack tonight. You are sounding good, and we've got
between the Wasama Swamps and Fresno, which isn't much, I guess, deeper than the Wasama Swamp west.
WL54.
For the Wasama Swamp east of the Wasama Swamp west.
55, checking in, Dennis.
All right. Well, we'll keep going here, but I think we've got 21 on the same page. We went to 65. Hello, 66. And SWL 67 from Canby, Oregon. Let's see. I'm going to scroll up. I know you are still in there, Bill. Lots of confusion as we talk live to the coast of California, to Somerville, to the Wasama Swamps, and maybe even to out there in Canby, Oregon tonight. So thanks for listening in. SWL 68. SWL 69, that's Kenny out in Tulsa, Oklahoma, who joined us last week on the video side, and will probably join us also on the replay side as well. All right, there is Jimmy riding in the steam locomotive into Old Tube Radio tonight. I see Jim on the Facebook side.
And for those that may be listening in that are not in,
and we are trying to get the link between Old Radio Night and the Old Tube Radio Night as well, between JT and myself. We are looking for Mark. If you're there, give it a try. SWL 70. Over.
Yes, sir. I'm right here. Do you copy?
I copy. Over.
Oh, Roger, Roger. I don't know what the heck you're doing there, but man, I don't know how you do it. 'Cause you got like voices going two different sources besides the one you're talking on the air. So, anyhow, sounding good, Dennis. Yeah, this thing is working again. And let's see, shout out to Bill up in Cheyenne. Hello, Bill. And yeah, kudos to Jeremy. That was pretty cool last night. The 36 lower sideband ditch bank sideband, single sideband net. That was fun. And yeah, with the STR stream too. Very cool. Looking forward to the next one there. So, all right, back to you, Dennis. Thanks very much, man.
All right, thanks for checking in. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Friday sideband net. I normally have to work late on Friday, so. But with the confusion going on, my schedule has been changed, so it's going to allow me to get in there for a couple of weeks. And yeah, what you hear in the background is a net similar to this that happens in the Wasama Swamps of South Carolina. It's going live tonight.
I can have about 10 Genesis on there.
and we're sort of doing a link loop. I think at some point we'll probably by 10 o'clock tonight we'll be on the same in the same minute.
Lyme disease. There you go.
So we'll be able to talk to everybody. Let's try. Oh, hey, you know, Stan. I see you actually connected. I don't know if you've got the delay, but go ahead and give the Echo Link a shot if you want. From Dallas, Georgia. If it comes in there, I'll pick you up. So we got you checked in now. 71 is in. But if you want to check the link, we'll give that a shot on that. Next is SWL 72. And let's see. All right, I've got to turn this audio down at that, and then go over to here and turn that audio up, and then I can say Stan is with us now on the Echo Link from Dallas, Georgia. So we'll go over to Stan and find out what was happening on the band. Stan is usually a good weekend DXer, contester, SWLer, and all that good stuff. KB6GFD.
Yeah, KB6GFD, K4SHW, Today was the Michigan QSO party. Worked it a little bit, and that was it. Last week was the Georgia QSO party, and it kind of wore me out. So hadn't done a whole lot, and we got some big storms coming in tomorrow. So I don't think I'll be able to work the last year of the rookie roundup for ARRL. So glad you got Echo linked up. I don't know if my audio's all that great, but I do have it on. So KB6 GFD, K4 SHW, back to you.
All right, you'll be able to hear the playback. It sounds good. You're actually, I've got the Echo Link running through the Orban Optima tonight, so everybody's supposed to sound good. And then I'm getting an ALF or some type of puppet from JT over on Old Radio Night. I need to have another camera so I can link that video up to this video. It's on a different screen. All right, Stan, thanks for the update. I was listening earlier. 40 meters was awful here. I still don't have a great antenna for that. And then I heard some guys on 20, but it wasn't like it has been the last couple of weekends with the contest. So thanks for that and for the update. And we will catch you in a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and go on to the next roll call here so we can get the radios running. But hopefully my audio isn't too bad coming back to you on the Echo Link. So 73 to you. And we'll probably do a little bit more here later in the evening on the Echo Link. KB6GFD. Takes us over to S73, SWL73. I'm getting John checked in. I talked to him on the 2-meter frequency earlier. And I think he was going to try and get one of his Collins radios fired up. See if we could get it up here on 27085. SWL74 checked in earlier from the 50,000 watt radio. SWL75. SWL77. And Mr. JT, thanks for, he was holding... Where are they? Like one of the phones? Do I have one here? Yeah, like one of these things. And what he has to do, he has to hold it up in front of his screen with me on it. I guess that's what I should have done. I never thought of that. I could return the favor as we have the loop going from Fresburg to the Wasama Swamps. But I think it worked out good, and we heard your audio as you heard. Tonight. So thanks for that. Nothing from 77. How about SWL 78? And what I need to do is jump over to the other screen and refresh who might have been checking in tonight. And there is 78 right at the top from Wildomar in California. I think sometimes you show up as Riverside, but Richard is listening in, sometimes from Seven Land, but Sixth Land tonight. How about SWL 79? SWL 80? Shortwave listener 81, Mr. Unicorn waving a hand over at the YouTube side saying good evening, OTR Net Control. And all they had was infant-sized masks, so it's a little bit tight. Maybe you just need a couple of them. If you get the smaller mask, you have to wear 3 or 4, and it might work. It might get you by in a pinch. Speaking of pinches, thanks, Steve. SWL 82.
82 checking in from the ditch banks of Iowa, and like to say. Big thumbs up for the SSB net from the ditch banks. Jeremy for putting that on. And anyway, Dennis, you got a good show going on here too. So thanks for checking me in.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit on the crazy side tonight with all the things. Hey, here we go.
305.
Here's some audio from the net Friday night.
We got 305 out here in Sanger. And do you have a handle or a first personal there you prefer to go by, sir?
The first personal will be David, our Dave.
Okay, David, we got you on the list and appreciate you checking in. You're line number 14. And appreciate
All right, there is the audio, 27-365, Friday nights at 8 p.m. Pacific time. And there's
that's a big signal again there.
there's the Crawdad checking in, and Dave, and at the Microphonium, Jeremy on the sideband net with the cool YouTube video at ditchbankssb.net, I think. So try that on Friday nights for your sideband pleasure. Thanks for checking in, Ron. Let's try SWL, a guy I heard on this Friday night net as well, SWL 84.
D84, good evening, Dennis. Yeah, we were definitely enjoying our time last night, and just going through a bunch of some of them that didn't work. You know, the tubes I was ordering didn't come in, so we'll have to wait for next week to maybe get a little bit more audio out of this old Browning over here. But who knows, Dennis? 5 more nights a week. You know, we're nice little nests out here. Doggone, it might even sound like the 60s and 70s and, you know, beginning of the 80s. Boy, howdy, when everybody and their grandma was out on the radio every single. But had a good time there, Dennis. And hope everybody, like you said, stays well. Don't do anything you shouldn't be doing. Get brave. But we will be listening next week for sure. And check in, my girls, at the appropriate time there. Roger, Roger.
Indeed. Definitely enjoyed it. The audio was good. I liked seeing the displays that go up. You kind of, it's like looking in the mirror. You know, when you talk on the radio, you don't know if your hair is out of place until you see that little waterfall, and you think, okay, maybe I could just tidy up my audio just a little bit. So it was fun. You're sounding good now. The audio is great, and Jeremy is saying we've got our hands full tonight between the audio and the video, but that's the fun. I agree. Maybe that is that is one of the reasons we're trying to promote, since a lot of people are at home, get reconnected with your Radio Shack, so that when things calm down a little bit, you won't forget to jump into the radio room. And maybe we will have to go back to that 5-minute rule that I remember back in the early 70s, because there were so many people on, you had to take the 5 minutes on and then 5 minutes off and let somebody else have a chance for a QSO. You are checked in, Jerry, and we will get the Mountain Maid, Tandy Girl, and Snowy Owl coming up.
Check. Thanks, Dennis.
Over to Reedley for SWL 85. And then the triple play 86, 87, and 88. And, of course, you don't need any numbers to join in on the Old Tube Radio Network. You don't even need an Old Tube Radio, for that matter, but it helps at least to get on the Old Tube Radio check-in list. So, as always, we say we welcome anyone to participate. And hello to all those who are listening in from all over the place, from Antique CB Radio pre-1977 to Facebook groups that are really doing a good job of promoting this Citizen Band radio thing. CB Radio Lounge, the CB Radio Connection, the High Fidelity CB Radio Group, and Midwest Sound, 11-meter CB Junkies, Vintage CB Radios, the fans of Demco and related equipment, the Vintage Tube CB Radio Group, the Worldwide Sidebanders, Rich Anderson and the gang over at CB Radio News, and others listening into the Old Tube Radio Network tonight. Let's try SWL 89. SWL 90, SWL 92, SWL 93. Louis came in earlier when I was testing, and so we will get Louis checked in. Over to SWL 98.
Checking in, Dave.
Sounding good. Fresno Dave at the Microphonium. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis.
SWL 103. SWL 109. I'm checking in Mr. Crawdad. We heard him loud and clear. Always sounding good. Crawdad knows how to modulate a microphone. Get 109 checked in. SWL 110. SWL 111. Heard Reedley on the show preview here. I don't think he could hear me, but he was making it into town. SWL 113. SWL 114.
114 checking in, and I'd like to thank you and Jeremy
for putting on the two nets.
Yeah, we're having a good time if we don't get tangled up in our clip leads and wires. Got you checked in, Wayne. Thanks for helping me out with the early test. And as usual, Wayne is the one. He probably is. He's a good fisherman. He knows when that skip is running, and he snagged the mini grass when it was in for a moment here on Channel 11 earlier, and sounding good. Thanks for checking in.
Thank you, Dennis.
All right, let me get over to the right screen, wherever that might be, on the old Tube Radio Network, and we are heading over to SWL 128. It was checking and rewiring the shack. Boy, you know, when I start doing this kind of stuff, I realize that I'm this close to just tearing it all out, to just having dusty tables and racks, and to doing what John's doing there is rewiring the whole thing. I even pulled out 2 or 3 jumpers and wired past some switches today because I thought, no, these I don't know how old these jumpers are. They're probably 30 years old, so not a good thing. Said he missed the 10 and 11 meter opening. But as you know, 128, the openings are going to get better and better as we get farther and farther into cycle 25. Thanks for checking in. SWL 131. SWL 133. SWL 135. Yeah, I'll type that in there on the screen for the question on that. Also, I want to say hello to Bob and Steve. It got kind of crazy here, and I neglected to check in with the Bob and Steve show as we were checking in with Old Radio Night and the various Echo links. They headed over to the Fresno Costco. There was a Clovis and 2 Fresno Costco. So within about a 10-mile radius, we have 3 Costcos. Stood in line for 2 hours. Yeah, I was probably right behind you. I qualify for that, that old person line, which usually wraps around the building and out of the parking lot. Used my credit card. I wonder where it went. And back in the green room down in lockdown. So yeah, they're locking down in style, thanks to the Costco City Card. Oh, you devils, you, Bob and Steve. Okay, let's try SWL 137. Shortwave listener 145.
Good evening, Dennis, and the rest of the net. 145, Tony Corsko. Really bummed out. I had lightning and no power last night, so I totally missed the net. Looking forward to the next Friday one. With that, can I get the Echo Link address, please?
Yeah, the node is 94810, and it's I believe it's set up to do one at a time. So as we go between the radios tonight, I'll have some audio up with that. And we'll let people check in and see how that works out. So, all right, that's the deal there. So, and you're sounding good here on AM.
Okay, thank you, Dennis. Because I'm able to check in on the early risers on the early Echo Link when I visit my family in Monterey. Roger.
All right, that would work. Assuming I can do this every week, or nothing blows up, or we have that as an aside where we can check for people checking, and that would work for the out-of-town as well. All right, good deal. Thanks.
Thank you, Dennis, and everybody be safe, and thank you for running the net.
All right, thanks for checking in. We are, for those of you who are warming up radios, we are getting close to that time, so don't stray too far. 145 is an SWL 147, Tony's 145, Neil, SWL 147, Checking in from Kakalaki. Monday and Tuesday last week were the best days of the propagation had in months. I think we did have a sunspot or two headed that way, coming in from everywhere, including California. I saw the Facebook guy saying that it was definitely the best, like you might remember it. You know, you can't get a word in edgewise. But as you know, better days to come. 73 and stay safe. I will do that, Dr. Jazz. We've got you checked in from Fayetteville. Okay, let's head over to Corsco. I hope I'm being heard a little bit better tonight up there, Jim, SWL 195.
195, check it in, going east on wall to wall up here. Sounds good.
All right, that is a good thing. And what can I say? We're working on it. It only takes me 35 years to get something straight around here. Thanks for checking in. And then SWL 226. And anyone I might have missed or anybody wants to jump in, and we will be getting to the radios very shortly. Okay, I'm going to take a quick break to get everything set up. When we come back, it is radio time. I will have the Echo Link ready to go so we can take some check-ins in and out on that, get you in on that, and we'll see what happens as we try not to blow things up on your old tube radio network back in a moment. And you are listening to the Old Tube Radio Network.
You may not find us on your TV because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
Yes, the Old Tube Radio Network. Real radio's going in the dark, and we're actually getting around at the top of the hour here to those tube radios, we hope. We'll be listening for your check-ins. We'll have the Echo Link open. We'll grab some Echo Linkers if you want to check in, give you a couple minutes of time to check out the audio and see how it works. If you've got the node and the way to do it, we can try that. But first, let's see who is out there would like to check in a radio on OTR. Over.
45.
25.
All right, 45 and 25 as I grab my notepad pad here. Paul, step up into the air chair. Paul, step up. We'll start you at Radio 1 at 9:03 because I know you've been hanging in there waiting, and I appreciate that. And Jerry, there is a ton of stuff over in the green room tonight, so help yourself and we'll be right with you. Hello, Paul, over.
Hi, Dad. I'm going back to my good old radio telephone. I'm going to check in my Super MC11.
From General Radio Telephone, the Super MC11. I've got a great picture of that, which we will pop up on the screen here. And let me see. That's an MC11 or the 11A, over?
No, it's the one that didn't get in to get repaired on the recall thing. It's the Super MC11.
All right. General Radio Telephone, Super MC11. I was just seeing if we actually have one from your collection. This might be, I'm not sure. Let's put it full screen, and hopefully you're hearing me okay tonight. Take a transmission, over.
Okay, if you look at the picture of the thing, that's a good picture. The A's had that, what they call a logo, over there next to the meter. This one has nothing on it. In fact, after the recall on the oscillator, they had an oscillator problem with the thing. If you call every one of them, you're fine. But then it costs us all the money to do that. Anyway, this one has a 9-tuber in it. Yeah, it's got the ECL 800 tube in the thing. So it's set up, ready to go. This is 11A. It sounds pretty good, I think. I've been looking for the thing, trying to get the oscillator repaired. And I've dropped the microchips at the time. It needs to help. Sound all right?
Yeah, it sounds good. I was trying to look at the signal. I think maybe your signal might be down just a little bit, but the audio is hanging in there, over.
Okay, sure. It's on mic. Not one of their mics. One of their mics is stuff. I don't know what happened. Under the 350 ceramic microphone stock, and not powdered it. So anyway, we'll keep the fingers crossed.
All right. Yeah, my noise is about an S7. I've got the RF gain control up a little bit, or backed up a little bit to get rid of the noise, and you're a little bit over a 7. So I'm thinking that the output of that may not be as much as some of the other general radio telephones you have, but I'm hearing it fine, and of course you're 35 or 40 miles away. Here's the MC11, the picture as Paul mentioned, there is between the channel selector and the S meter not the GRT logo that we see on the MC11As, but it has probably, I was thinking to see if we had a tube complement on that. I think it's pretty similar to the MC11A because it should have the ECLL 800 tube in that. Give us another transmission. It's a cool looking radio, and it sounds fine tonight from your collection. And thanks for bringing it by. The General Radio Telephone Super MC11. I want to keep calling it the MC11A, but it is the MC11. Now, let's, stepping up out of the green room and into the air chair tonight from Madeira Heights, sometime known on 11 meters as Sidekick, over.
Absolutely, Dennis, and thank you for the net. And before I check in this radio, a special thanks for Jeremy for getting the sideband net going on Friday nights. Anyway, 25 checking in on a Browning Golden Eagle Mark III, two-piece radio, sidebander, But unfortunately, I couldn't make it go to the 36 lower side. I do have the Subtronics VFO, but boy, it'd take a day to hook it back up. I used to have a little hookup to it, but I took it out because I didn't think I'd ever use it. But I'm sorry now that I did. But anyway, it was in channel 1. But anyway, talking on the non-powered banana mic with the bass, and boy, my golly, the red on the ear light is glowing, and everything seems to be working, and hopefully you can hear me, Dennis. So back to you.
It is working great here on AM. And yeah, I remember we used to get a lot of the Brownings checking in on the Friday night AM net here on this frequency. And of course, as you know, and we'll remind people that the sideband net on 27365 channel 36 is for all radios that are capable of, I guess, product detecting, uninserting their AM carrier and doing, it's on lower sideband. You can come in with a double sideband. If you got a double sideband radio, it'll work because it does upper and lower, but it does need to transmit and receive lower sideband. Although Jeremy's kind of, he's a technical whiz with the SDR, so I think on any sideband you might show up, he will be able to find you and get you checked in. I was thinking what I have here, I've got for old radios, I got the Regency, which won't go up there. I might be able to make it go up there. And I've got a Helicopters HT37, which I might be able to get up there. And of course, some of the other radios I have will do that as well. So I was able to jump in at the right time. There is the Browning Golden Eagle manufactured Mark III SSB manufactured by Browning from 1972 to 1976 when they upgraded to the 40-channel Mark IV. Originally sold this radio pair for $650 to $750 or more. And in 1972 that would be a chunk of change right now, over.
Yeah. Anyway, I tried to make this thing work, but anyway, I'm just going to leave this at on 11 meter and maybe get something else to mosey on up to what is it, 27,365. Anyway, Dennis, thanks for checking it in. It's probably a whole barrage of people and radios getting ready to check in, so I don't want to hold up any time. But the Jingle Singers were in a great mood tonight. Anyway, back to you. Thanks for checking it in, Dennis.
Thanks for bringing it by. I think everybody's in a great mood because they're wanting to be. It just doesn't pay to be in a bad mood these days. Leave that for somebody else. So you're sounding good for Radio 2 on the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III. I'm checking the Echo Link. Looks like it's open. So if someone wants to give it a try, I'll keep an eye out there, listening in. Let's see. I think I'm still transmitting on 27085. And let me refresh some comments over here to make sure we are still in the ballpark. Yeah. All right. Looks good. All right. Thanks, Jerry. We'll look forward to seeing you on some form of two-way radio communication here.
37.
And in the nick of time, Chris is at the microphonium of some type of cord in his radio room. Go ahead, over.
Yes, we do have a radio here of some type of a form. I am going to check in my Chris 23 plus CB transceiver, 23 channel tuber that glows in the dark. And I would like to tell you that this is running on the original handheld non-amplified microphone. Over.
Just goes to show you that you don't always have to have amplified microphoniums. The radio we just checked in, the Browning, I think they sort of recommended that you put in D104 and you look at the bass and make sure it doesn't have an amplifier in it because it was built to not need that. The Chris 23 Plus, one of the Panasonic chassis that have worked so well in plate modulation for a lot of manufacturers, and we do a lot of check-ins with those radios. So over to you for transmission as we take a look at the Chris 23 Plus over.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, this here is definitely doing its number here, so, it does have the 23 Plus, and it's a plus I'm in here also. And we're doing two good things. I'm still here, and the radio is too.
Boy, that's a 2-for-1 bonus. And at least here at OTR, we are glad for both of those things. The 23 Plus transceiver, squelch volume. Oh, bandwidth. I was trying to say, read what that says. So it's got the fine-tuning delta tune. And the meter switch. So this is the one you have to switch between transmit and receive on the meter.
Could you repeat that again, Dennis? What?
I'm looking. There's a switch below your meter, and it says S and RF. So I'm assuming that if it's on the one selection, when you take a transmission, that meter just rests at the end of the peg. And if you go to RF when you're transmitting, then it should be okay. But if you leave it on RF, do you still see the S meter incoming?
No. You have to put it over to the transmitter back and forth, so. Yeah, on the RF, you put it over, it just shows me swinging all the way over, about pegging it out over on the meter scale, on the scale there, on the radio, actually. 5 watts, and it's swinging. It goes to 5 watts, and it's still wanting to try to go past it. So it's definitely doing something. But it's doing what you said it was. That is right.
All right, it seems like a strange way to do that. But I think because some of the radios of that chassis used a range boost and some other stuff, maybe they said, no, you only got 1 meter position, you have to do this. Almost like having your car that has a switch to turn on the turn signal. So you'd have to flip that switch, and then you'd have to have another switch that would say left or right or something. I don't know, it seems like a kind of strange way to do it. But at least it's got it. At least it's got the S meter, and it's doing well. In the plate modulated mode, it will run 115 volt AC or 12 volt DC, so you can go mobile with that. 17 pounds is the weight, and there are 11 tubes. All 6 volts except a 12 AT7 and a 12 AX7 for your audio. Make that modulation light blink one more time.
Okay, well, it's definitely blinking. It definitely is. So, and if I actually, what's really weird, if I turn it up loud enough, you can make it blink also, Dennis.
Wow. That's sort of like violating your 6 feet of personal space there, blinking the light. I don't know. Well, I think if you're making it blink, I won't have to do that.
Yeah, boy. All right, I'm going to be back with another one that works almost the same way, maybe.
All right. Good deal. Radio number 3, Chris on his Chris, that's CHRAS, on his KRIS 23 Plus. Looking and sounding good as always here on the Old Tube Radio Network. Thanks for bringing it by.
45.
And Radio 4 in the making here at 916. And Paul, I hear you. So give a transmission in here to Old Tube Radio Net Control, and we'll see what you got.
Okay. Using one kind of like Chris has. It's a Super MC11A General Radio telephone.
All right, from the General Radio Telephone Super MC11 to the Super MC11A. I'll put a picture up. I'm going to leave the S meter running and see if it's got a little bit more RF than the 11. Go ahead with the transmission.
Okay, well, I'm using a regular generator telephone microphone. It's a CM-3. It's on the mic. It's made by Turner. It's a real small hand mic, but it's made by Turner. It's about 360 Turners. Remember what they look like. Anyway, I don't know if it's louder or not. I'm not really backing off the thing. I'm backing up pretty close to it. Does it sound all right?
Yeah, it sounds great. It is louder, and it has more signal. It has more forward gain on the modulation. So when you key the microphone, I would say you're probably at the same signal level that you were on the MC11, but your audio moves the carrier, moves the S meter up at least an S unit, almost 2 S units. So that's the difference. When you speak, you start squelching out the noise, which the MC11 wasn't doing as well. Over.
Yeah, okay. Well, this thing is swinging the meter real good. I'm talking pretty close to it right now, if that makes a difference, and trying to hold myself in one position. It's kind of directional. So anyway, well, it's one of the General's best, I'll tell you. It's one of the great radios. Chris comes in with his, he'll blow me out of the water. But I still like the sound of them, whether they're loud like that or probably mellow like this. I hope this is mellow. So thanks for checking it in, Dennis.
I think it is. Let me go to, do we have an extreme close-up? There we go. There's the microphonium, the CM3. Got a good picture of it there. And if it's not metal, it is some super heavy-duty plastic that I'm going to say if you dropped it on your foot, you would be not really happy. But it sounds good. It looks good on the meter, and this one definitely has the advantage of the Generals tonight that you've checked in. Over.
Yeah, I hope we do have a more check in. But I think it's not a big microphone, we're going to tell you. It's a real small microphone. It's when they went to the smaller, I don't like it at all. It's just too small in your hand. But I always talk about the heavy one. You wouldn't drop that on your toe, but you can have a broken toe. Okay, thanks for checking in, Dennis.
And thanks for bringing it by on the Old Tube Radio Network tonight. Let's do the Jingle Singers at about 19 after the Old Tube Radio Network. My name is Dennis, your net control operator, but I haven't introduced myself yet tonight in all the confusion created mostly by me. We are in the Central Valley of California, where we, on Saturday evenings at 8 p.m., listen for and talk to the classic tube radios of the Old Tube Radio Network, is what we're called. And the Jingle Singers over in our other studio. We don't have a camera up there for a good reason. My excuse is that the cables are not long enough to reach. So let's head over to that way and see what they have for us tonight on the Old Tube Radio Network.
How do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you. Wherever you are, your favorite spot on the dial by far is known to you as
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
The station for you is
OTR.
And we are looking for radio number 5.
37.
All right, I've got 37. Chris, step up into the air chair. You will be radio 5. And who else was there?
25, Dennis.
And Jared. All right. I have a feeling. I know you wanted. I know you wanted that number 5 spot. We'll put you in the number 6 spot. Go enjoy the Jingle Singers, and we'll be right back to you. Hello, Chris. Over.
Well, if he really wanted that number 5 spot, he can have it.
No, he's down. He is at the punch bowl, so I'm not even going to try and get him to come back.
Okay, well, in that case, I'll go ahead and check this radio in. Excuse me. But anyway, Dennis, I wanted to check in my G PowerMate, the Gem Marine Products, a 22-count tube that glows in the dark. And this here has the same switch on it right there. You know, that little meter switch right there, S and RF. Well, this does the same thing. I got it over to the RF side, and it's swinging up a storm right there. And I push it over there, and it don't do nothing. It goes back down there to 0. But I flip it back over here, and don't do that. There we go. Make sure it keeps working. But yeah, it's working, and I'm running this to him with the amplified D104 pop.
Gem Marine Products with the amplification. PA and CB. Obviously, you're in the CB mode on the switch off to the right. Sounds good. You might actually have too much amplification on that microphone. Don't go adjusting anything. I can hear you just fine. But in just listening, sounds like the radio is given all it's got and then some.
Well, I think I might have been a little bit too close to the microphone.
Oh, yeah, that cleaned up the audio. That does sound better. Over.
Yeah, I backed up from it, so that should make it a little bit nicer.
It's still loud. It just takes the bass tip-up presence away, and you have that, like Bob Heil would say, communications quality audio.
Well, good. That's what we want. We want it to work like it's supposed to.
What did Boso Control used to say? This is it's supposed to work like it's supposed to frequency, and yours is doing just that. The the Gem Marine, too many G's. The Gem Marine products, G Power Mate from the early 70s, the Panasonic chassis that everyone likes so well for plate modulation. Give us another transmission. It's sounding good. Thanks for bringing it by.
And as you used to say, it's a working. All right, Dennis, I'm going to get out of here now. I'm going to be coming back with another since I changed the mic head.
All right. Yeah, speaking of working, our next radio is probably working as well. I think okay, he's jumping up into the air chair now. And he looks like he brought one of those little Dixie plates piled high with some goodies. Hello, Jerry.
Hello, Dennis, and hello, Chris. Your radios are sounding good. Dennis, you must be clairvoyant. But I know you know what radio I'm talking on before I even tell you. What is it?
Well, I have a lot of video cameras and things going on, but I do not have the clairvoyant ability to know all radios. But I had a feeling that maybe you were trying to do an apropos check-in for number 5 with a number 5, as in the MC5 over.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Dennis. And I'm looking forward to hearing Chris's general radio telephone, MC11 and D, I think it is. That makes this love smoke. Anyway, 25, checking in on the general radio telephone, MC5, and you nailed it, from downtown, beautiful downtown Burbank, California. And it's a pretty simple little radio. And anyway, back to you, Dennis.
Back to me in the studio. I'm looking at the radio now. This is from Paul's collection. He always has great shots of the radio's outdoors and the flora and fauna. This one is showing the not like the CM3 microphone that we have on the Super MC series. This one has, I'm going to say if you were making Belgian waffles, you would want to use this microphonium, but I'm not sure what you have on yours, over.
Okay, well, what I'm using on mine is a powered Turner Bus 3B. The radio probably doesn't need it, but that's just what we ended up wiring it up for it, and we got it on the air good enough to check in. And by the way, this thing does have a external crystal socket way below a secret switch that I guess you could plug in a secret frequency if you wanted to do something. But anyway, back to you, Dennis. Thanks.
Yeah, well, the secret frequency that General Radio Telephone used, and I think it actually helped them manufacture their radios with the ability to have some business band output, or at least to have that available in the radio, was the Civil Air Patrol frequency at 26 dot something. I don't have it right in front of me. But that MC5 that sold for about $200 in 1962-63 was their top seller, their top of the line with the general coverage receiver, so you didn't have to go out and spend the $3 adding crystals to get 23 channels because they were already there, but you did have to be crystal controlled on the transmit, according to the FCC. Also, as we've mentioned before, the last of the general radio telephones to have the switch called tone signal. After that, on the MC6, it went to something called the bullhorn. So as we go back to Jerry in the radio room, he will humor us. He will engage the tone signal and hopefully he doesn't vaporize when he does that.
Absolutely not. It reminds me of when 17 had his MC5 on, but he had never mind. It was a real. He had a problem with this signal, tone signal alert. But anyway, here we go. Back to you, Dennis.
That is definitely 100% modulation. I was looking at the S meter, and it rolls up. It goes up to the top of the peak of your audio. The tone squelch. It doesn't have. Mitch was talking about the PA switch. What they used to tell people it stood for, PA as in power amplifier, although we know that's probably not right. This has the TS, the tone signal. But I noticed they were smart enough to write out tone signals and not put TS on the switch. Because we all know what TS stands for. Radio number 6, the General Radio Telephone. Generals are doing good tonight. Beautiful downtown Burbank by way of the Central Valley here tonight. Sounds good. Give us one more transmission before you go, and we appreciate your efforts tonight on the Old Tube Radio Network.
Well, Dennis, I tell you what, we appreciate you hosting the net for giving us the opportunity to check in all these boat anchors, these old tubers. Otherwise, it'd just be boat anchors. Anyway, thanks, Dennis, and we'll see if we'll work something else up.
37.
Yeah, we are ready and waiting for that. 37 is in the wings. He'll be Radio 7. Bottom of the hour, 9:30 here on the West Coast, Pacific Daylight Time. We'll head over to the Jingle Singers. It looks like, and it's still, I guess I'm still up. Looks like it's there. The Echo Link is open if someone wants to jump in on that and give it a shot and see if it works. But first, let's head over to our infamous, our one and only, our very own Jingle Singers here on the Old Tube Radio Network.
How do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you, wherever you are. The friendliest station for you by far is known to all as
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
The station for you is
OTR.
And where are we going? Oh, Radio 7. Hello, Chris.
Hello, Dennis. We are back once again. Thank you guys out there thinking of my journal. It'll be upcoming after this one shortly. But anyway, I want to check in my expensive radio here. I'm going to check in the Courier Royale, the 23-channel tuber that glows in the dark. It's got the blinking lights on it and all that stuff and all the mysterious knobs front and back, you know, for this and that and everything else you can think of. And we're running this here with the amplified D104 Lollipop also. Over.
You've got it all perfectly set up right. Audio is really nice and clear. Sounds good. And you are indeed correct. This was the top-of-the-line radio from Courier. I think there was an ad somewhere that said this was the radio that was built for the CEO of the company, and he wanted every knob and switch and dial on it. It looks like if you're looking at the front of the radio like I am on the picture here, they did get every knob and radio dial that they could, and a few lights. And on some of them, I actually think they ran out of space, and there are some controls on the backside as well. But no need to touch the controls. You are sounding good. Give us a transmission. Over.
Thank you, Dennis. Well, yeah, it just keeps on working, like a Timex, but a little bit better.
Is there a clock? That's what they left out. There's no clock in there.
No, there's not. They should have. They should have put a little one in, even if it had been a battery operated one, that'd been fine. But to make it all right, it had to be electric, but they didn't put one in it.
Well, that big dial in the front looks like a clock, except it goes to... Well, it's almost like a 24-hour clock, except it's missing the... it's missing the 24. Courier Royale will also go 12-volt DC mobile if you've got the right cord for the back. A reason a lot of people like that and what pushed the price up a little bit for a non-sideband radio back in the day was the Collins 6 kilohertz mechanical filter. I guess there were some Brownings that incorporated that. I don't know if it was an after the fact thing, but I noticed there were some people talking about their 6 kilohertz mechanical filter in the Browning, but this was a standard issue for the Courier Royale. 11 tubes IC, kind of in my jumbled notes here. And if you go to oldtuberadio.com, those who are looking for a service manual, you perhaps might find one for the Courier. But let's hear some more. Let's hear another transmission on the Courier. And there are 1, 2, 3 lights on the front of that radio. So I'm sure at least one of them is going to be blinking when you take a transmission.
Yes, well, actually, one on the far right by the PA switch and CB, that one there, that's the mods light right there. And then beyond the air light over on the other side, it kind of flickers all the time when you key down. It just boom, 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 boom like that there compared to like when I talk. But yeah, it has that blinker on that side there too. And this here also has the switch. Let's see. Yes, there's that one there, and there's that one right there. You know, for in and out. You know, receive and transmit part thing. So it has the same type of switch, and it works the same way.
Yes, it does. I also noticed it has a, let's see, it's not a microphone jack, so that's a headphone jack on the front, which is kind of nice. Always looking for radios that have an easy way to take audio out for streaming. That's the way we're doing this now. It sort of dictates what radios I can use for net control. If they don't have a handy way for exiting the audio out to go into the sound card with the stream, they make it very difficult to do the 2-hour net properly. No problem there. Radio 7, the Courier Royale. I don't have a price point for that, but my guess it was probably up in the high $200 range, if not more. But sounding like $1 million tonight on the Old Tube Radio Network. Give us a transmission, and thanks for bringing it by.
You mentioned this. Well, I'm going to turn this one off, and hey, guys, Paul, you're going to get your wish. I'm going to get that journal fired up. Well, actually, it's already fired up. It's getting warm. I just felt the top of it. You can keep your hand warmer right there right now. So anyway, I'm out and getting to the other one.
And I am back in full uniform tonight, the seersucker suit, and I think if I put on, yeah, I've got the right, the OTR official net control shirt. Thanks to the Ohio group out there that wants to keep net control looking spiffy, looking for radio number 8.
Break, OTR.
Oh man, I can always tell when you change over to that radio. Hello.
I don't know why. It's a stalker. But anyway, yeah, you got me going there on that, y'all. But anyway, yes, this is my general radio telephone, the Super NC11A, the 24-channel version of all these radios like this in here. And like I say, this here is running the original stock microphone. No bells or whistles on the back end of it. Just does what it does. And it does have the bullhorn thing there, but when I keep mine down, don't do that. But it, like Gary's out there does, but hey, I hit that button, and if I keep my microphone down, it sure scared the heck out of me.
Well, hopefully it doesn't call any bulls around. I think you probably have to have some type of a external speaker or something that would be far away from your microphone, so you won't. Then you would have a tone call going on. And we were talking about, Paul was talking about, let's go to the close-up here, the CM3 microphonium, and that is what you are using. That's the microphone that came supplied with the radio. And that is what's making all the excellent audio here for radio number 8. And unlike the Super MC11 that we had earlier, this one has the GRT logo, which is the sort of scribbling stuff between the S meter and the channel selector. So score 1 for the art department of beautiful downtown Burbank. Give us another transmission. We always love to hear that radio, and thanks for bringing it by.
Oh, yeah, and that little man in the wheelchair just sitting there looking at me. All right, Des, thank you. Well, this is all my... Damn, are you kidding me? This ain't swing all the way up to 100 on the modulation meter. I can't believe it. I've never seen it hit that high, but I must be getting real close to the microphone. That must be. But anyway, Dennis, this is it for me tonight, and I'll be listening for the rest of the show. And you gentlemen out there, have a wonderful evening. Stay safe, stay healthy. Don't forget, 6 feet apart, if not further. Gloves and mask is almost a must.
In some places, it is sort of mandated to be a must if you're heading out. And everybody's doing a pretty good job here in Central California, I think. We're keeping the numbers under control. Thanks, Chris, for bringing it by. Let me see. Who did I not see? In all the wackiness going on tonight, who did I say hello to? Hello to Charlie in Minnesota, Zero Land, watching with binoculars way up from the top of the tower. Of course, Albert with one makes four now with actually more than that. We've got Albert, Peter, Christian, Dougie, and Shane. Hello to all of you. Missed saying hello to the quintet from British Columbia. Waiting for the skip to come in, and no doubt probably doing quite well with local conditions tonight. And is that from last week? I'm just scrolling down. No, Crazy Bob checked in as well. I missed that. Bob Madera, who's also a radio DJ and spinner of old-time records and things of that nature. Who's got the Facebook group Antique CB Radio with lots of good stuff. Hello to you, Bob. And Robert, 111 reminds us the podcasts at 100 watts and a wire. For those of you who are thinking of or maybe already have your amateur radio license, that's a really good podcast for doing stuff. So listen into that. Is it time for the Jingle Singers? No, not yet. OTR is standing by listening for the next check-in, and looks like Echo Link is open if anybody wants to give it a try. And speaking of giving it a try, at the big wooden radio table or something like it, I hear you, Jerry. Over.
Well, thank you, Des. Well, this is the same radio that we checked in last week. Very, very low audio. Still showing a lot of audio. But, well, I'll tell you what, I think there is a little bit of an improvement, but I still didn't get the tubes that I wanted there. I replaced the 5763 power tube and also the 6 E88 tube, and I swapped out about 3 different 6PQ5 transmit tubes, but I found one that was a little bit better, but this is the one that I did not get, so I'm going to report them from another place. They're running about $30, $35, only get a couple of them, but anyway, the same radio. It's a Browning 23, S9 transmitter, and our 2700A receiver is doing just about 1.5 watts there, and modulating about 3, and that's just about it there, Roger.
Yeah, about S7, S8 on the meter, so you're above my noise, but not by far. But what's happening, and what often happens on the general radio telephone, or on the Brownings as well, which is what you're on. We're seeing the transmitter, the 23S9. It has that great audio that really cuts through any form of noise and stuff, so no problem hearing you. We're showing the 23S9 that has, I'll call it the extended, it's called a chicken head, I guess is what they call it, channel selector. And I don't know if yours has that or if it's the smaller throw, but that's the one we're seeing here. It's a very simple, it's just the transmitter, right? So you don't need to have all sorts of stuff. It does have the meter. It says modulation on it, which I guess obviously it's not a receiver, so it's not going to be an S meter, so that should be moving around for you. It looks like it has an on-the-air light And there is some switches and buttons. Oh, it's got the spot switch. So you still have to spot. You still have to press that thing and get your transmitter aligned with the receiver over. No, the clarity is good. The clarity is very good. That's the first thing I noticed. Oops, wait a minute. We got somebody talking there. That's good. So there's no problem with the audio at all. I think like you said, it's just maybe a signal issue, but I'm hearing you fine, 100%. And you're above the noise. I guess what I'll do, the next transmission, I'll saunter over to the receiver and we'll do a frequency check, see how that, how the old transmitter, the old crystal is hanging in there, over. Yeah, sounds good. I don't think there's anything wrong with transmitters at all. There's a 2700A receiver for those looking at the video portion. That's the second half of the other half of the radio that Jerry is on tonight, our radio number 9, the R2700A 23S9 from 1961 or 62, so an early set for Browning Laboratories, but one that got them started off and made quite a name for Browning for the next 15 years or so until they had to close down the plant and go and do something else. What was the article that Mitch brought by? They had over 100 employees, 250 employees. So a lot of people working at Browning, probably doing some other things as well. But obviously in the 60s, the 11-meter CB radios were the thing to do. Sounds good. And yeah, I'm looking forward to Friday nights when I can make it. Hear all the interesting sideband radios that will come by on the frequency on channel 36 starting at 8 p.m. 27.365. So I encourage our out-of-town stations to check for E-Skip there on lower 36 on Friday evenings and see if they can pick up any of the gang here from Central California. The Old Tube Radio Network, Real Radio is glowing in the dark. Let me switch over to I'm not doing really well on my audio tonight. I'm getting a little bit more negative peaks than I'd like to see, but at least people are hearing me. The jingle singers don't give a hoot about any of that negative, positive modulation. They just want to tell you about the best place to be.
What are the magic numbers?
27.085 megahertz, channel 11.
Are the magic magic letters.
OTR.
Right here in
Fresno, California.
Radio Magic.
Old Tube Radio.
For you.
And we are listening for Radio 10.
25.
Hello, radio. You caught me taking some notes here. What's going on in Madera Heights? Over.
Oh, nothing much, but Dennis, like to again thank you for what you do. We gotta have a sonar checked in tonight, so I thought I'd check in the sonar FS23. It looks like a little bitty mini Yaesu. 23 channel, the meters on the right-hand side, upper right-hand side, and 4 knobbins. We got volume, squelch, RF gain, and then the fine tune. And talking on a non-powered stock sonar microphone. Anyway, back to you, Dennis.
And there is another one of those radios that is produced so that you really don't need, or so that you didn't need to have any microphone amplification because the radio would do it all. Here's the Sonar Model FS23 ad from the Sonar Radio Corporation. $300, $299.95. Sounds like an old Gottschalk's ad. The Sonars weren't the most expensive radio, but they certainly weren't the cheapest radio, but they had some really nice audio circuits and some other well-built items of interest that kept the price point up, but you got a quality piece of equipment. I'm going to scroll down through the advertisement here. 23 frequency synthesized crystal controlled channels, and all sorts of stuff. There it was. That's what I'm thinking. The high-level Class B push-pull modulation. That's what you paid the extra money for on that radio. Over.
Yeah, Dennis, and on top of that, it is a mobile. You could actually hook it up on DC, and I actually have the mounting bracket on the radio. But I can't imagine putting it in today's radio, or today's cars, or pickups, or whatever. You would have to have the electric T25 or the Oldsmobile F85, something with a lot of room, big old doghouse, a lot of room, huge Riviera, the Lincoln Continental. I mean, we're talking in the 60s. To have room to even mount this thing, even think about matters as a mobile. But anyway, it just goes to show you how times have changed. Anyway, thanks for checking it in, Dennis.
Thanks for bringing it by. There's the close-up, or the close-up shot. Yeah, you have to have, for radio that weighs, over 20 pounds, you need a car that weighs 2 tons, right? You need a 4,000-pound vehicle, and then it'll look dwarfed in there. Volume, squelch, RF gain, which I think is a cool thing to have. Looks like the audio might sound pretty good. It's got 3 little holes in there for the speaker, but I'm thinking that might be like a 6x9 speaker, the S meter. And then there is, on this one, next to the fine tune on the right side, there's a fine tune knob. There's some type of vertical. You know what? Let me get a close-up of that. I don't know what that is. There's some type of a vertical thing. Call, normal, standby. Looks like there might have been some type of external or add-on unit that slid in there. I don't know, for some type of a call. I'm assuming you don't have a special call button or anything on that. Over.
Yeah, actually, Dennis, on this 23, there's a plate, but I'm looking over at my FS3023, and there's a switch. And then the difference between the FS23 and the FS3023 is the A&L switch on the FS23 is in the back of the radio, and
what they did is they put the AML switch on the front in that particular place where you're talking about, on the right-hand side of the fine tune on the FS3023. Anyway, back to you, Dennis.
Yeah, NuVista, or rather Super Heterodyne receiver, and Mitch reminds us that it had a NuVista front end, which is a premium feature and probably added to the price a little bit, but that was a good thing. So my guess is that's, I don't know how that compares with the Browning on receive, but I bet it holds up pretty well.
Yeah, the receive is excellent on this radio, Dennis. And thanks again. If we had 2 more radios warmed up, I don't know if we'll have time to check them in, but we'll try. Anyway, back to you, Dennis. Thank you.
All right, add on VFO and a tone squelch. So Sonar, I was also one of those companies that was not only making 11-meter radios, they were doing other things as well. So it wasn't like they were trying to figure out, what should we do with this radio? They kind of knew already what should be in and on to make them sound good. Speaking of sounding good, the Jingle Singers, I guess they've eaten so much tonight that they actually want to they actually want to perform a little bit for us tonight, and that is a good thing here on the Old Tube Radio Network.
Let's do some spelling.
OTR. 27.085 megahertz. Channel 11, Old Tube Radio. Old Tube Radio.
Yeah, I think some things have drifted here. I'm looking at the audio. I'll have to do a slow replay, but I can see some not so nice negative peaks showing up in the audio tonight. The Old Tube Radio Network getting ready to wind it down, but we certainly have room for your radio check-ins tonight, and if you've just tuned in and need to check in on the SWL side, we can do that as well as we listen for Radio 11.
Can that be me?
That can be you. So, Harvey, jump up into the air chair, but don't take a transmission just yet. Who was the other station for OTR over?
45.
And 45. Paul is there as well. Let me see if Harvey made it into the air chair.
I did.
Okay, and then Paul is with us as well. If you will stand by, I want to pick up Paul for Radio 11. That way, if we need to talk about things, we'll have a little bit. Is that okay?
He's going to be 11 instead of me? Okay.
All right. Unless you're, I know you're not on a Super MC11 or a 12, but you could be. So hang in there. We'll be right with you. Hello, Paul. Hello, 45. Can you hear net control? Over.
Yeah, I heard everything. That's fine. That's great. I just want to check in my radio here, and let Harvey go ahead and get into the technical stuff to get it interesting. Anyway, this is my Midland 13-890.
Boy, okay, good audio on that, and that also doesn't have a lot of signal, but again, the audio is helping out with that. So let me find what I think might be the radio. You said 13-890, indeed, from the collection of Paul. I will bring that up. Give us another transmission. That one's got some nice audio. Over.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I didn't have the power of the other one did, but sure, it gets out real good. I'm using an amplified mic on the thing. It needed it. But anyway, it's quite a nice radio. They don't have it in Sam's or anything like that. And I needed some equipment for it as far as, tubes and layout and everything. And the guys from out in the audience there came through it for the thing and found a regular diagram for the whole works. Real nice of them. So anyway, they got it working, and it's working well, I think. So I'll just go ahead and get Harvey out there. Let him go ahead.
All right, got the full screen. Very modern-looking radio without, the silver and the black, the chrome, the layout. Doesn't have the wood sides. It's not a true furniture look, but looks nice on that, and some great audio. One of the radios that came out of Japan Not sure if it was built by Panasonic or not. I don't have that information with the fine tune, the squelch. Looked at the S meter. You're under S7 on the key down, but your modulation goes up to about S8. So it's got some good forward movement, and the audio is nice and loud, making up for any signal deficiencies, or I should say, for any of my antenna deficiencies. Before you go, for the fans of that radio, the Midland 13890, give us another transmission, and thanks for bringing by Radio 11 over.
Okay, your Midland's still in business, so they made many radios. Well, this is included, so I'm happy to have it. Thanks for checking in, Dennis. Have a great evening.
All right, as always, appreciate your extra efforts on Saturday evenings. I know how hard it is to just get one radio here set up to go, and then I can kind of transmit on it for 2 hours, and a lot of our stations are getting multiple radios up and changing coaxes and not doing what I do is trip and break things. They've all seemed to do it quite nicely. So Radio 11, the Midland 13890. Over we go to the west side, or let's see, exit stage right in my case, since I'm facing south. Is that how it works? I'm already confused. And Mitch, I agree, a very untubed look for a tube radio, and a rare one. Hang on to that, Midland, Paul. Radio 12, hello, Harvey. Hello, 20, over.
Hello, we'll do this quick because I think someone else wants to check in 2 more radios. Then after that, a little bit of Browning trivia. But we'll check in the Browning Golden Beagle R68T68 from Browning Lavatories with the custom D104 little Browning medallion. And according to one other person, it's the small one, but it's the only one I've ever seen. On the back of the head of the D104. Okay, we'll check this in and turn it back to you so they can check in the other radios. And then a little bit of Browning trivia after that. Back to you.
All right, you know what? Browning Golden Eagle. I'm showing a T69. Did you say you have a T68, right? I think I've got the wrong picture here.
T69, the Mark II.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So the T68, as Browning went, there was the Eagle, and then they came out with the Golden Eagle, which was the R68 T68. Didn't have a mark anything. As Jerry says, the mark none. And then the transmitter we're showing here is from the Mark II, the, I guess, T69, R69, but the Golden Eagle Mark II. All right, and you are Radio 12, and I will get that put down here at 9:59, sneaking in right before the 10 o'clock hour. All right, who is the breaking, if there is a breaking, who is the breaking station for OTR, over?
25.
Hey. All right, I forgot you, didn't I? Or did I? I don't know. I've got too many notes, too many wires, too many cut leads. Thanks for being patient. And you are, we're putting you in as Lucky 13. You didn't know it was going to be your lucky day, did you?
No, I did not, but I think this is part and parcel. It will make your day. We got to check in Holocrafters. CB3A, a little phone, Citizens little phone. Anyway, 23 channel and talking on a non-powered D104. Back to you, Dennis.
Back to me in the studio. All right, you have made my day. It is definitely worth the wait. 13 is always a lucky number for radios. The Holocrafters CB3A, there's the picture, a really great picture from Cliff's collection. And those radios typically show up with stock microphones, and they came with the carbon microphones, but they can really, really produce good audio. I've hooked the one that I've got from 37's collection here into the audio board and been amazed at how good it sounds without any modifications inside. And I think the best one I ever heard was the one that that somebody that Computer Man brought by long, long ago, SWL 49. And I said, I can't believe that is a, I can't believe that's a Mark III or a CB3A on helicopters. So they can do some good audio stock and with a little modifications as well. I'm digging on the little red H. The radio is pretty monochrome, and then you have that logo, the little round lowercase red H, which I'm so used to seeing for the last, I don't know, 50 years of helicopter stuff that I've been hanging around. So it's a cool thing. Give us another transmission.
All right, Dennis. And by the way, if I know you pull up a picture on your website, but this one does have on the left side of the ABCD indicator in the middle channel selector. It does on the left side. It does have the VFO, and on the right side, it does have the S-meter, which is doing good. It's bouncing up and down and doing a good job. So anyway, there are no blanks on this radio. So if that makes sense. Anyway, thanks for checking in, Dennis, and thanks for the net. I'm sure you're worn out, man. Anyway, back to you.
Yeah, I was trying to find that you mentioned that, trying to find a shot that showed both. I find a lot of them that have both panels in, both inserts in, but so that's kind of rare to have, to have both meters. Let's see, I've got let me go to the, okay, there it is. That'll work. Let me go to the, just because you mentioned it. All right, in this advertisement, which when I exploded view, it's not very good, but you can see there's the microphone, and there are the 2 meter VFO inserts. Of course, in the advertisement, they're going to show you the big kahuna there. So it was easy to do, unscrew the panels there, and I think the units came in. You take off the top. Looks like it, and it's really easy to get into that thing. It's like a lunchbox. You take the top off and you plug them in, wire them in, plug them in, dress the wires around, and hook them up, and you have your little $159 radio. Now it looks like a $300 something. Radio 13, the Helicopter CB3A. Take another transmission since I've talked so much.
All right, Dennis. Anyway, the on-the-air light goes on. Two-pin connection on the mic, just like the old Brownings, and talking on a non-powered D104. Anyway, back to you, Dennis. Thank you.
All right, sounds good. And I'm going to scroll down so I can sign off properly. Clear, reliable, two-way communication up to 15 miles and more with Helicopter's rugged CB3A transceiver. Simple as a phone to operate, but your calls are free. Did we ever mention that? Your calls are free here on the Old Tube Radio Network. You will never get a bill at the end of the month from your service provider wanting $16.95 plus an extra charge for the microphone. Well, you have a microphone, so we're going to charge you another $10. It is free to be on the Old Tube Radio Network. On Helicopters, send for a colorful brochure, complete specifications today, Department 7G, 5th and Costner Avenues, Chicago 24, Illinois. Thanks for bringing the radio by.
Okay, Dennis, and there was a time where we used to fire up the FM 1000 Helicopters, but don't worry about it tonight.
No, I did. I will have to go back to the archives and watch the video of that, because now you've got me excited about Helicopters. The FM 1000 is way over there on the bench, behind the FT102 on the workbench and some other stuff. It is really messy in here. I mentioned that earlier, that who was talking about reconfiguring the radio room or tearing something out. That definitely needs to be done here. But the only thing that's in its place is Bozo, one of the Bozos. And there's a Bozo back here too. There is over there. And a Bozo over there. There's Bozos everywhere. Thanks for bringing that by. Where are we? Oh, I think Harvey may still be in the radio room. Hello, over.
Dennis?
Oh, wait, this is Dennis, over.
Dennis, you got room for a new member?
hey, we've got room for everything. The Old Tube Radio Network has been here for 35 years, and we're always delighted when somebody comes by new, and when somebody comes by that was here 30 years ago and says, I can't believe you're still doing this. Hello, radio.
Sounds like a deal to me. This is 7144. Rush, RUSH, up in Chowchilla.
All right, with the big signal and the antenna that must be up on the 450-foot cell tower, Rush, in Chowchilla. I'm glad you're enjoying the presentation tonight from our tube radio operators and shortwave listeners. Give me your number again, over.
Yes, sir, 7144. Rush, Chowchilla, California.
Okay, Rush up in Chowchilla, and I'm amazed you're hearing me because my antenna is really, really low, and you're putting in a good signal. As you may know, Channel 11 is where we are at. We do an audio stream at oldtuberadio.net if you have some type of universal media net web device. And if you do the YouTube thing, you will be able to look at the live YouTube, it'll say like the Old Tube Radio Network live for April 18th, 2020. And at the end of the video, you will be able to give yourself a radio check. You know what I'll do? I'll put on the S meter here. So the next time you'll come back, you'll be able to watch the video and give yourself a radio check. Glad you stopped by. And again, I'm amazed that you're actually hearing me at all. Over.
Oh, it's not a problem. We got a good antenna, got a good radio, so no problem at all.
All right, good to have you. Good to have you along on board with us tonight. I'm seeing if we're near the end of the roster here. Sometimes I don't have a lot of space. I wanted to see if I could pop you in on the SWL side. You know, there is no numbers necessary to jump into the Old Tube Radio Network here. You know what? Since you're from Chowchilla, I'm gonna pop you in on SWL 46. So if you come by during the roll call, you can check in as 46. If you come by at any time, which you can do, we'll get 46 checked in on the SWL Rush, 7144 Chowchilla. Back in the day, 30 years ago, we had a group in Visalia that would check in. But that's when I had an antenna way in the air. We had a guy that would drive up on the Parkfield grade over on the west side, out by Coalinga, up in the hills there, and check in. And we don't get a lot of people up in the north, so good to have you aboard up in Chowchilla, Madera, Merced, Los Banos, taking care of that area for us tonight. Thanks.
All right, thank you, Dennis. Be looking forward to next Saturday night.
All right, and join us, won't you, on Friday evenings on 30, if you've got sideband 36 lower at 8 p.m. on Fridays. They're doing some sideband things, and you might enjoy that as well. So thanks for tuning in, and you know how it is. If you ever find yourself in front of the microphone of an old tube radio, this is the place to be. Thanks for checking in.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I already I did that thing with JR last night. All right, Dennis, have a good evening. It's been my pleasure. Talk to you another day.
All right, I'll look for you on the SDR. I'll look for you on the waterfall. The Old Tube Radio Network jingle singers are going to do what they do best. We still have time to get a few more radios and comments here, but you know how it goes on the Old Tube Radio Network.
You're tuned to
OTR. Channel 11.
right here in
Fresno, California.
Stay with us.
Old Tube Radio.
And be modern.
Dennis?
This is the basic Dennis. You remind me of Jack Benny. Maybe it's the suit when he used to say, "Oh, Dennis."
Oh, Dennis?
No, it's old Rochester.
Yeah. Hello, Harvey.
Yeah, I could hear Chowchilla. Not everything, but, yeah, I would say about 75% of what he was saying.
You know, he sounded good. I'm amazed, you know, because we're line of sight here, and my antenna's pretty low, so he's definitely got a good focusing elemental device.
Hey, Roger. Okay, a little bit of, well, let me see. Does anybody else want to check something in?
I'll take a bite at that one.
Oh, I think we've got an item of interest. So hold on. I was doing some counting and amounting here. The station looking for the Old Tube Radio Network, you have found said item. Go ahead, over. I think I heard somebody that wasn't Harvey. Who was that?
You guys queued up together.
Oh, did we make the infamous double transmission? Yeah, I think it was Mike. The station, go ahead, over.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was my cue or someone else's.
Let's see. Look to your left, and then look up slightly, and there it is. The on-the-air light is up. Go ahead.
Oh, you know what? Now you're hitting a sore spot. I have always wanted like a big on-the-air lamp. No, not like one. Well, how many on-the-air lamps do I have in here? Only one on my Browning. But I think we do have some Browning trivia apparently coming up. But no, I don't have an on-the-air lamp. I wish I did, but I do have a Magic Eye Tube on this particular radio. Guess which one it is?
Ooh, Magic Eye Tube. Well, there's two from which to choose. The audio is pretty good. The audio is pretty darn good. So instead of going with the Gonset, which was going to be my first choice, I'm going to go with the Robin. Over.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, unfortunately, my Gonset has not worked. Oh boy, I want to say it's been at least a year, maybe even a little bit longer than that. But now, Robin T123 with the Magic Eye 6. Oh gosh, I always forget, 6 or 813. I think it is, which is great. I don't know what color it is, but unfortunately, I've had to pay a lot of attention to the color ratings of LED lamps for home lighting, and this has a K value. I almost want to say this Magic Eye Tube has like almost like a 5,000 K value to it. I don't know. It looks better though. I don't necessarily care for LED lamps. I think Magic Eye vacuum tubes are much more appealing.
I don't know. They're underrated. Is that the word? It's just they were big in the 50s and 60s and in the 40s for tuning and audio, and then something happened. Maybe meters and lights and less heat. Maybe it's an expense thing. You know, a little number 47 bulb was probably 89 cents, and that tube was probably way more than 89 cents. So when it came to price wars, maybe they just got priced out of the market.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And, you know, that's funny that you bring up the aspect of prices. I'm sure that really wasn't a deciding factor. At least I don't think it was a deciding factor in putting this Magic Eye tube into this particular radio. But I think I was reading, somewhere that they, I don't think it was Gonset. There was some manufacturer that was using Magic Eye tubes because they were actually cheaper than a dial or a needle dial meter, and I can't remember what application they were talking about. But can you imagine a vacuum tube being cheaper than an S meter with an actual needle on it? That's just amazing. And now, of course, it's the exact opposite. But this one's working great, winking and blinking, and it used to do a decent job, and then once Harvey was kind enough to come and help me out with a D104, an amplified D104, definitely works out great.
It works excellent. Nice. The good thing about the Robin, they have good fidelity. Nice low frequencies and high frequencies and all around good stuff. Plus, as an operator, as a driver, there's radios are some radios are fun to drive. Others, they like the Browning transmitter. It's like it just kind of looks okay, but it sure does a good job. This one does a good job, and it's just like you mentioned, it's fun to drive. It's when you stop talking, there's something to watch. It's got the S meter, and when you start talking, there's something to watch as you go crazy trying to make the two little lights come together on the audio tube. 2 transistors. There's 2 transistors in there. I think it's for some type of a 12-volt DC thing, which it will do. Is that one? Is this the radio? I know you've gone mobile before. Do you use this one or do you use the B?
That's a good question. I have always used this one on the road. I've never used the B. Although the Brie, would you like some Brie cheese? My 123B does have, and actually it's attached to it right now. I'm kind of using it as a stand. It does have its mobile bracket, which looks really good. I hope I haven't put too many scratches on it. It's kind of on a brick ledge right now. But no, I have always used this one, the 123, in the mobile mode. And funny that you'd bring this up. I almost took it out on the road tonight. Had a little bit of cabin fever here, but I think the weather was just a little crummy. And, well, I got lazy, so there it is.
Well, lazy is not a bad thing. It's definitely not lazy at 20 minutes after 10 o'clock Pacific Daylight Time that you were in the radio room up and chatting with us here at the Old Tube Radio Network with Radio 14 tonight, the Robin T123. When did this go? I guess they stopped this in 1972 or 71 when they switched over to the 123B. They got rid of the doggone light. So much for that Magic Eye tube. But it sounds good, so glad you are bringing it by. Audio is always good. And we are back to the old days when we didn't need to social distance, but a lot of people are mentioning that the CB bands are getting noisy again as people rediscover the radio rooms as they have a little more time, if they do. Back to you for transmission. I can't remember if Harvey had something for us. Let's see. Echolink is still. Mitch, if you're still around, if you want to jump in on Echolink here for the end of the item with any comments. I know. Mitch takes copious notes. He's one of those hams that probably takes copious notes, so you might be able to jump in and give us some notes. But in the meantime, I'd like to go back to you on Radio 14 because it sounded nice.
Okay, thanks, Harvey. I'm sorry to take up so much time here. After I unkeyed, I was trying to think, boy, why haven't I tried to take this 123B, the radio that I'm not on right now? Why haven't I tried to take that on the road? And then I realized it wasn't from lack of trying. I think I did try and do that. And that was a good
KB6G
learning situation. I discovered that you cannot use a DC power cord that you have for a Robin 123 on a Robin T123B, as in Bravo. The DC cords don't use the 123 cord on the 123B. It doesn't work. Take my word for it, please.
Yeah, totally different radio, so you got to be careful with that. Got Mitch on the Echolink. I thought I had a direct link for the receive radio to come through there, and I wasn't I wasn't hearing it, so I don't know. But you didn't blow anything up, so you did good.
Okay, good. There it is. I will back out. I will say that if you're around afterwards, I do want to try that Echolink thing. But on that, I will send it back to you, 73 at all. Everyone sounds great. What a great way to spend a Saturday night. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. I'm doing some testing here where I'm able to have on the Echolink a separate feed that feeds the radio through on the transmitter, but not through on that and the other things. All right, so that's good. So let me take that off. I will unkey the transmitter here to Mitch. This transmitter sets that it is. And there, he's back in online, and then we'll see if Harvey is back. Over.
Hello, Dennis. Can you hear me?
I am here. Is it clear?
It is clear, and Mitch is on as well on the Echolink. Let me do this. All right, there's like, you really have to think to do this. I'm hearing you, Mitch, on the Echolink, and I was trying the feed where I can actually feed the radio or receive audio into the Echolink separate. So in case we get to something where somebody has a question or there's a talk back going on with somebody, that it might actually work. So, and that way you can listen to the Echolink. So I'm going to leave the Echolink transmitter up, and then Harvey, take a transmission, and you will be here on 11 meters and also on the Echolink as well. Just so don't go too long because I'm doing a test. Over.
Okay.
KB6G.
A little Browning trivia. A lot of people have the R2700 receiver, and they made it with a 23S9 or an S9 transmitter or one of the other 3 transmitters. And every once in a while I see on the internet or on Facebook, whatever, sure would like to find an older Browning receiver. And some people say, well, I don't think there is. And they go, well, there must be. Well, apparently there isn't. R2700, first receiver.
All right, and let me drop the Echolink transmitter so Mitch can jump in and turn up the audio. So, all right. Well, maybe they started with a tin can and a string.
Well, basically when CVs came out, they had, as Browning puts it, piss-poor receivers. So they designed the R2700, which is a great receiver. People that have it, I don't think anyone says they don't like it, because it's not that good or anything like that. It's very sensitive, really good receiver. Anyway, people, when they got it, made it to either other transceivers or transmitters. And it worked fine, apparently. Browning didn't get any apparent negative feedback. Well, then Browning came out with their first transmitter, which is the S9, according to the information I have. The S9 transmitter was the first. Well, when the Browning people with the R2700 put it with the S9, they noticed there was some feedback when they unkeyed. So they, some of them called the factory and said, hey, what is this? And then the factory, after getting enough complaints on the next production run, took the ping out.
Trying to take the ping out. I think I hear them talking that the FCC didn't like it as well. Let me drop the transmitter on the Echolink. Okay, so the engineers were scratching their heads, and then they must have decided, like, either let's not worry about it, or, people are kind of liking this.
Well, they quickly solved the problem,
KB6G.
which in the audio section off the 6AQ5 tube is a 20 microfarad 450 volt cap that dissipated the voltage, and it took too long, so you had the feedback. So they put a 2 in there, apparently. Well, on that next production run, people bought those, and with the S9 transmitter went, hey, where's the ping? And called the factory and complained there was no feedback ping, because they liked it.
Probably going to have a timeout on this thing.
The dealer stores liked it. It was a nice selling thing. So on the next production run, they put it back in. And that's somewhat the story on the ping as far as the information I've been able to gather on it. So our 2700 first receiver, the S9 first transmitter. And then next week, a little bit on the next 3 transmitters. 25.
All right, let me drop the transmitter on the Echo Link so that Mitch can jump in. And 25, we hear you just fine. And I will catch you for that. And then more with Browning. We wish there was somebody listening in the last 35 years from Browning, don't you think? Now that we're worldwide, got to be somebody that worked there or did something that can chime in, don't you think?
25 there.
Hello, 25, over.
Yeah, thanks, Dennis. And hello, Harvey. Just real quickly, check in a sonar FS3023, and I think you know all the basics, and back to you guys. Carry on.
All right, don't go away. I want to see if I can get a shot of the 3023. See if there, the earlier radio was the Sonar FS23. The Fun Service, Field Strength, frequency synthesized. Okay, there's the, not a lot of difference from the, I'm trying to find the right picture. There we go. From the 23, but I see there's a switch instead of the little slide thing there on the right side. Over.
That's exactly right. And Harvey, by the way, told me that some of these old stock stock microphones, sonar microphones, are amplified. And I think I'm talking on one right now. But anyway, yeah, the only difference that I can see is between the FS3023 and the FS23 is the A&L switches in the front, and the FS23, the A&L switches in the back. Anyway, just real quick, I just want to check in the radio real quick. Dennis, thank you for what you're doing, and Harvey, good to hear you, and back to you guys.
All right, back to us in the studio. It sounds good. Still has the same nice audio, the push-pull. Is it 6 BQ5 audio that they're noted for, and the new Vista front end to make me sound good and clear. And it is Radio 15. Always amazed. We are not that close together. All your radios, you've got a good setup there with where your antenna's at and how you've got things put together, because everything always sounds good. I never hear you having to, bang on anything to get it to work. So thanks for bringing it by. Over.
I know actually I do bang on them, but anyway, I just don't tell you about it. Anyway, thanks, Dennis. You guys carry on with your QSO and very interesting stuff.
All right, KB6GFD, are you... Oops, I got to turn the right knob here. There we go. Are you still in there, Mitch? Take a transmission on Echolink, over. All right, and we're going to see if the Echolink...
Hey, good evening, Dennis.
There he is.
Thanks for another great net, KH3TEV here. I'm listening to you guys in stereo with YouTube in one ear and Echolink in the other. Back to you.
Yeah, it sounds good. I was doing a little test. I've got a separate way where I can put the radio audio separately up into the Echolink. So I think you said you were hearing Harvey okay. So that way if we have somebody that wants to come in and make a comment, they won't have to do the turn your head shuffle like you're doing there, where they could just listen to the Echolink and hopefully hear the audio coming from the radio at the same without the delay. So I think that worked. Getting a little Browning history, and of course, Mitch had some articles. In fact, you were the one that posted on the Facebook, I think, the article about Browning closing their doors, or what was it, 200 employees, 250 employees closing their doors back in the late 70s over.
Yes, indeed, Dennis. So I dug up some old news about Browning from the day that they were about to go out of business. I think it was 1981, if I recall, but don't quote me on that. But it was really interesting that they said that they were going to auction off the remaining radio inventory, but that there wasn't a lot left. Dealers still had some stock after they closed the doors. But interestingly, they held on to all the patents in case they wanted to restart production on the radios. And my understanding is eventually the parts inventory got sold off, and then a third party somewhere down south was able to put together from the parts the Mark IV-A, which was actually not from Browning, but was built from the Browning design and Browning inventory. Over.
Yes, indeed. And there was the two, the silk screened and the non-silk screened. I'm going to leave the Echolink transmitter up and see if Harvey, did you hear that transmission okay from the Echolink? Over.
Roger, yeah, I heard it really well. You'll have to tell me. I've got Echolink on my phone here. You'll have to let me know which node or whatever I go to on it there, so I can get it. I've got a local spot because the CVRC thing has changed to something else, and I've got that, but I don't know which one you're using. Anyway, I heard him really well, and he's correct about, as far as I know, the Mark IV-A. Although there are two different fronts to the Mark IV-A. You mentioned there's two different ways they put the front on. I forget the terms for each one, but there are two different ones. Plus, there's the 4A without the little plates on there, and then there's the one with it.
Yeah, I think we have the photos in our database somewhere of that, depending if it's silk screened or not. I don't know if there's one that's more unobtainium or one that's more coveted, sort of like the trams, the point-to-point wiring trams as opposed to the ones on the circuit board or not. So, all right. I think Mitch was hearing you. He's in San Jose and around the San Jose area. He listens in on the video side and the audio side, and then we had the Echolink. And his audio sounds really good, and he's hearing you good. I've patched it through. So that'll work. Once I get as to which knob and dial needs to be up and down for this thing, it can work, and I don't have the transmitter going. So anyway, okay, we're good. It is 10:37. Just wanted to see if there's anybody else that wants to check in or do anything before we officially sign out and let the frequency remain open to those who would like to use it. And do some counting and amounting, and the jingle singers are supposed to do this, I think.
You're tuned to OTR. Channel 11,
Right here in
Fresno, California.
Stay with us
Old Tube Radio.
and be modern.
Hey, Dennis?
Go ahead, over.
Okay, which area are we for the area nodes?
Oh, I had the number. Let me jump in. I'm going to key the transmitter on the Echolink. All right, and Mitch is keyed up. So the Echolink should be pretty much real time. So if I was doing something where, I wanted the person to respond, I would say just listen to Echolink, and then I can kind of control the back and forth because I can patch the radio real time down the Echolink. But now you see the problems I have when you have three or four sources going on with that. So I missed my paper. Darn it. I missed my paper where I had the note. Oh, you know what? I can scroll up and find it, maybe. And it changes, I think, because I haven't signed out. You sign on and it sort of gives you a node. I don't think I come up with the same one all the time. So if you have a way to bring it up and you can search by node. Otherwise, you can click on the location, double click on where it says location, and then search for location and then scroll down to Fresno. And I should show up that way. And I cannot find my number at the moment because there's a lot of people on the scrolling thing here. So, all right, I'm going to... Mitch is listening on the radio, so I'm going to unkey the Echolink if he's listening there, and then he'll chime in. I'll keep my transmitter up. So, Mitch, go ahead and take another transmission via the Echolink, and you will be also over the air here at OTR. So I've dropped that, and then once that drops, he'll come up with his audio.
Okay, Dennis, very good. KA3TEB. One of the things people on Echolink can do to find you is just look you up by call sign, and you can do that in the Explorer view and just hit Control F if you're on a Windows machine, type in Fresno, and just scroll down the list. So it's not that hard to find you. Right now, only one node can connect at a time, so we've got it busy. If you get it set up as a repeater, then multiple people could use that frequency and jump in on the Echolink altogether. But it seems to be working pretty well so far. The audio is really nice, especially the audio being retransmitted from 11 meters. Sounds great, and very impressive setup. So thanks so much for finally carving out some time there, Dennis, to put the Echolink together, and I'm sure it'll get better from here.
All right, good. A little beta testing, and yeah, I noticed I know I had the one call does it all. I guess the ultimate thing would be to actually set up a radio, which is what I'd like to do, remote radio, so people could dial in radio-wise here and then connect Echolink that way. And that way there could be some alternate conversations going on that didn't tie up this if somebody wanted to do it that way. All right, I will drop the transmitter on the Echolink. Thanks for that, KB6GFD. Thanks to Mitch. And then I will drop the OTR transmitter, and we'll be counting and amounting and finishing this thing up. Over. All right, any other comments before we sign out of the OTR stuff here? And then the Mr. Announcer and the Jingle Singer said,
This is the Old Tube Radio Network. Ladies and gentlemen, stand by. It's time now for the current OTR totals.
The current and final totals. I'm going to jump over to the other camera here. My really nice peaked and tweaked audio settings have sort of fallen by the wayside tonight. And I'm just looking back. All right, I don't think anything's blowing up. But that's the bad thing about sweep tubes. They really do mess up your audio. They really do mess up the audio. So what they say is true. 15 radios tonight checking in, and for SWLs we had 21 and 27, so 48, with 9 on page 1, 12 on page 2, 14 on page 3, and 12 on page 4. Let's see. Most heard radio tonight was General Radio Telephone at 4, followed by the Brownings at 3, and the Sonars at 2. So not a bad deal. We had the General Radio Telephone Super MC11, not the 8, but the 11 from Paul for Radio 1. Then the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB was Radio 2 from Jerry, SWL 25. The Chris 23 Plus from Chris was Radio 3. Paul brought by the General Radio Telephone Super MC11A to make it a pair of 11s, but there would be more. Chris came by with his General Gem Marine Products G Powermate for Radio 5. That was followed by Madeira Heights with the General Radio Telephone MC5. The Courier Royale from Chris was Radio 7. Radio 8 was Chris on the General Radio Telephone Super MC11A. That was the number 4 General Browning Golden Eagle 23S9 and the R2700A from Cheerios Kid. And it's still sounding good. Still a good signal and good audio. Radio 9. Radio 10, the Sonar FS23 from 25. Radio 11, Falcon, Paul on the Midland 13890. Got some good comments on that radio, Paul. People like that one. The Harvey, right? Harvey on the Browning Golden Eagle R68, T68 for Radio 12, Radio 13. The Hallicrafters, Hallicrafters, the CB3A. Radio 14, the Robin T123, Magic Eye and all. Thank you, Mike, for that. And Radio 15, as you heard moments ago, the Sonar FS3023. On the Old Tube Radio Network tonight, trying to also have some alternate check-in modes via Echolink and some other stuff as we go through here. Obviously, there's the chats on the video side and the audio side, and the most importantly, right here, 27085 is your radio check-ins. So there is. Harvey got it figured out. He's ready. I'm going to unkey, and you've got to turn down your radio.
W6 OTR Whiskey 6 Old Tube Radio. Anyway, Dennis, I'll get off this and let you finish up. Thank you. W6 OTR.
All right, you made it work good. You've got to remember to turn your other radio down or you get the feedback. It is a bit confusing, but I heard you just fine, and you made it over the air fine as well. So I'll be right back. I'm going to do a sign-off, and then we'll maybe play with some Echolink here. So hang on. All right, good night, everybody. Harvey made the Echolink and sounding pretty good. 73 from the Old Tube Radio Network, thanks to SearchLawrence.com and Frodex for the Nixie tubes. Everybody is staying safe and doing what they're supposed to do. We've got a few more weeks at least to go. But what can I say? I think we're getting the hang of this, and that is a darn good thing for sure. Good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in the Old Tube Radio Network. Thanks for your participation tonight, and thanks for putting up with the wires and the clip leads. 73 from OTR. I heard you, over.
I heard that 94810 earlier, so I looked up 94810, and it's a city in southern Brazil. That's the zip code, 948.
Thank you, Dennis.
I went, I don't think I can reach that on my radio.
You would be surprised. I used to know what the prefix for Brazil was, but actually that's probably a pretty decent one here for where we are.
Yeah, I looked that up and I went, what are they talking about? Then that veteran amateur radio operator, Mike, gave me a phone call and said, hey, Harv, this is what you do. And he said 94810. And I go, yeah, that's a city in Brazil. What about it? And then he explained. Then I said, there's no 94810 on the Echolink. And he said, well, it's under Dennis's call letters. I go, good. So anyway, here we go. It only took, 3 of us to do it. Okay, again, some rest. Take care.
Yeah, there's various ways to go. You look for the node, which is an absolute number. The location, there may be many Fresnos, and you got to scroll through. And then on the stations, you have to make sure that it's the designation, or that it's a link or a person or a whatever. That's usually the hardest way to do it, I think, unless you do a search. There's a search window you can put it in. I think it'll take you there. Also, and you're talking to Argentina tonight. David has been listening in from Argentina on the Old Tube Radio Network. So hopefully we have produced some radios of interest, and maybe your favorite radios or radios you'd like to have, or ones you do have. All right, let me sign. I got to drop the video. I got to drop the audio. Might be able to, I'll work on the Echolink. We'll do some stuff like that, but it can work. I'm glad you cannot see the desk. Let me just go to the main camera. And there's just this trail of wires going back and forth between the audio board and the radios with connectors and stuff, trying to get this all working. You have to have a separate computer so I don't get feedback and capture stuff. There's probably an easy and a good way to do this. I'm just not doing it yet. Good night, everybody. We'll talk to you next week on the Old Tube Radio Network. And don't forget the Wednesday night net for those here locally on 28445 upper sideband. If you can do that and have got that, check for some e-skip there. That's 8 p.m. Pacific time on Wednesday evenings. And then on 36 lower on Friday evenings at 8 p.m., something new on sideband. Everyone is welcome to that, local and not local. I'm sure Jeremy would love to have some DX visitors checking in when the band is open, so be listening for that. Good night, everybody. Good night, everybody.
Wednesday, 28445 upper.
Yeah, that's the one that's been going on the Central, I'll call it Central Valley Net, and you will hear many voices that you hear tonight on that one. And there's a spot for visitor check-ins, and they will probably add you, if you want to get on there, add you to the roll call. But that's 28445 at 8 p.m. Wednesday.
Got it, wrote it down, and then 8 p.m. Friday. Lower 36. Got it there. I've got the radio sitting over here. I just never do it. Okay, thank you, Dennis. I'll be out of here, and then next week, a little Browning transmitter trivia. Bye.
All right, we like the trivia. Good night, and 73 from OTR. All right, saying goodbye to the stream audio. It is late. It is late, and I need to get out of this chair, so we'll talk to you later. Good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.